Sunday night with the bros, PHNX Cardinals After Dark. Here we go. It's your premier Arizona Cardinal podcast. Like and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star wherever you get your podcast. Become a diehard. Go PHNX.com. Pick up a free hat and or shirt every single year. Got some new diehards repping their gear on the Twitter streets. You love to see that. You love to see this. My co-host, to my right, Mr. Bo Brack. I'm Johnny Venerable. How we living on this Cards After Dark, Bo?
I think we're living well, right? And we were not a weekend void of Arizona Cardinals news. Two little nuggets that I think dropped that our audience, our friends out there would like to hear us go in depth on, and we're certainly going to do that tonight. Friend of the program. Is it fair to call him friend of the program? Matt Miller dropping a little nugget. And then our guy Jeremy Fowler on ESPN woke up, threw on SportsCenter before the March Madness games, and heard him say our beloved Arizona Cardinals team name associated with a familiar name that we'll redabble with this offseason once again.
Haason Reddick, is he coming back? What are we hearing, and what could Jeremy be alluding to or maybe reaching to? Before we get to that report and many others, let's say what's up to everybody in the chat. Let's start with Gannonite, $4.99 super chat. My wife's first live show. Well, welcome, Miss Gannonite. We appreciate you and your significant other. Told her about the show tonight, and she wanted to check it out with me. Well, thank you so much. I'm glad you guys are having a ball on Sunday. We were talking about this before the show. We might get people just a little bit more laxed on these Sunday streams. I think that's fair to say, Bo.
Letting their hair down, right? Letting their hair down, and hopefully we can deliver to Lady Gannonite. I think that would be fantastic. I mean, let's lower the expectations. This is not, we love Gannonite, always fantastic in the chat, and we want to deliver, but let's undersell, over deliver this one.
That's right. I do that often. Ray Farm or Ray Fram, $49.99 super chat. Man, what a way to start the live stream. Mr. Ray, thank you so much. Generosity and the support of the program on that level. Thank you so much. Let's check out Ray's comment. The Cards stay at 4 equals Marvin Harrison Jr. once in a generation talent to play with K1 for years to come. I like where this is going. Yet a trade down with Minnesota, 11, 23, 27, and a first rounder, 2024, 2025, plus a third. NFL rebuilds are tough. Yeah. Glad I'm not a GM. I would always prefer to be a GM, but I'm with you, Ray. Like I would say there's a winner in the short term with this. Because if you take Marvin, you're getting the buy-in of the fan base. But if for whatever reason it doesn't work out with Marvin, you're going to say to yourself, I should have taken the package, Bo.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've always said it. I've maintained this since they hit the reset button and they were staring down in the 2022 season when it was just a disaster, a sinking ship, that rebuilds are not for the faint of heart. You had to say goodbye to what a lot of people felt were some fan favorite players. Yeah, they exited some talented players. You had to make some tough, unpopular decisions in order to get to this point. And like the tough decisions continue, right? It's like you have to take this player that would be unbelievable and electric to watch each and every week, or, giving you the most ammunition to team build in 3 potential first round picks and then some. That, is for an NFL GM is tough to pass down. We even have, Tom Pelissaro talking to Dan Quinn saying, we're more than likely taking a quarterback. I'm paraphrasing, but, our phones are still open. Somebody have to overwhelm us. And, I think that with any organization that is rebuilding and has its eye on the future, like quarterback is nice, which the Cardinals have. So is a generational type wide receiver, really freaking nice, but also is a lot of draft capital to continuously just get that, that machine going to where you're getting high premium draft picks each and every year.
Yeah, I mean, you want to be in a point where the Cardinals are this year, Bo, where they're just looking forward to the draft every year for the right reasons. Ray again, $4.99. Also, my math and computer programming skills are not coming back to me. What's he saying here? Alcohol and age is a brain killer, Bird Gang. Well, drink responsibly, but also party responsibly with us. Hopefully, Ray, we will see you at the draft party, my dear, dear friend.
Let's do it. Yeah, get your tickets now. Tomorrow, the 1 month mark. Can you believe that? We're going to be 1 month away from April 25th. It's going to be going down in the Gila River Resorts and Casinos at the Wild Horse Pass. Cannot wait. If you haven't got your tickets, we've already made it halfway there as far as what we have as far as tickets available. So get in now. Over 200 plus join us here on a Sunday night. Make sure to like this video. Like it for Ray. Like it for everybody out there. Like it for our newest diehard, Nick, who hit us up on Twitter just before.
Welcome, Nick.
Welcome to the crew. It's going to be such a fun time, especially over these next 30, 31 days before the Cardinals are on the clock officially, hopefully at 4th overall. But if not, still going to have a great time.
St. Blurry at $9.99 made the night better with a PHNX podcast. Thank you so much, Nate Blurry. $9.99. You guys are crushing it with the super chats. We will do our best tonight to cover anything and everything, as also what Bo and I are hearing as it relates to this team. The gentleman to my right is about to make the most ludicrous flight to and from the great state of Florida to head out to the owners' meetings to talk to one Jonathan Gannon. That's happening within the next, I believe, 48 hours. Maybe you leave tomorrow or Tuesday?
I leave tomorrow. So as soon as I probably turn off my mic and get the camera off, I'm going to check in for my flight, which is tomorrow, about 10-ish Phoenix time. Gotcha. Flying out. It's going to be nonstop to Orlando. I'm going to load up on PHNX
tomorrow night. You're not talking about during the day.
No,
you're flying out tomorrow night.
Taking the red eye. I get in just after 5 a.m. Orlando time. I'll Uber to the resort where you've already seen it. Like they took the annual coaches photo there, so all the coaches are there.
That photo, by the way.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that. But then Jonathan Gannon slated to talk on Tuesday, the 26th. That's when I'll be in town. And as soon as I'm done talking to him, I'll get some other, intel from around the league meetings, and then jump on a plane earlier that afternoon, get back into Phoenix, and do another PHNX Cardinals show that afternoon, live at 4:30.
Hardest working man in Cardinal media. Not bad for this little fanboy podcast. Charlie is back. Charlie's like Michael Myers with these super chats. I love him, but it scares the hell out of me. $1.99. Woke up feeling good about MHJ to the Los Angeles Chargers. Charlie is our resident Charger fan, ready to, reap the benefits of the Arizona Cardinals potentially trading down as his precious Chargers and Justin Herbert would get full access to one Marvin Harrison Jr. Charlie also told us last week on the pod that Marvin Harrison Sr.'s first touchdown pass was from Jim Harbaugh, which I had no idea, and is a fantastic nugget, whether or not you're rooting for MHJ to go to Arizona or not. That's pretty awesome. Thank you so much, Charlie. We appreciate you, my guy.
David Rosca, what's up, AZ Cards? Deuce jumping in, $5 super chat. Join the Toon Squad. Looney Tunes, LFG, Jobo. You guys rock. I'm all good with Monty Ossenfort's decisions, even trading down. He will take care of us. There's a lot of faith here with this show. But us, like Charlie, the thoughts of Marvin Harrison Jr. making plays and catching touchdown passes from Kyler Murray, those just will not go away until, the pick is in at 4th overall in the NFL draft or 5th overall in the Chargers situation.
Carbfish $4.99. How about this? I have sort of come around on a trade down. Build the trenches. $4.99 super chat. I think, again, it's any situation, Carp, where there's going to be that initial disappointment if it happens, but you understand if the package is big enough, why it makes sense for them if they hit on the right picks. And I'm going to tell you what, I was doing a little exercise that I'll allude to later in the show. And I'll just say, there are so many good players in this draft that if the Cardinals did have, let's just say 5 picks in the top 50, I mean, you could really cook with this roster instantly. This is the year to have all the extra picks, but picks, outside the top 10, picks into 2025, that's where it's a hard sell for Cardinal fans. Let's get into the topic of the day, the show title that we alluded to, Bo Brock, which is the Arizona Cardinals poised for an aggressive trade offer from the Minnesota Vikings. I believe this broke either Friday or yesterday morning. Matt Miller, frenemy of the show, maybe of ESPN, once upon a time declared, who was it? Matt Barkley wouldn't make it past the Cardinals in the top 10. How'd that age? But he's come around and he has said the feeling is still that the Vikings will be aggressive in trading up to the number 4 or 5 spot to land J.J. McCarthy. It is all but confirmed now the Vikings are infatuated with one J.J. McCarthy. They were slobbering all over him in his pro day last week. There have been multiple other reports, including this. This was also on the Twitter streets today. This is from John Francella. He puts a lot of stuff out there. I'm not sure how much hits, but he's got a little bit of a following. He's saying as the competition for J.J. McCarthy heats up, the Giants and Vikings are expected to compete not for the 5th pick, but for the 4th pick overall in the NFL draft. And then he mentioned something about Michael Penix. Stock is rising. Bo Nix not giving the same level of acceleration. So I think, here's what I take out of this. I believe it to some degree. I think every time I get more and more comfortable with maybe Tony Pauline emphasizing the Chargers and there's less heat on the number 4 pick, then I turn on Twitter and I see all this coming at us and it's just this isn't going to stop, is it? The 4th pick really is the gatekeeper. I don't care what Elliot Wolf has to say, Bo Brack. I don't care what the Commanders say. The only team that you know definitively that's not taking a quarterback is the team that picks at 4. And if you're trading up, the only assurance that you're going to get that you're going to get J.J. McCarthy or Drake May, whomever falls as QB4, is making a trade with the Cardinals. So I do believe that this has some legitimacy to it.
Yeah, there's certainly legitimacy, and we'll start. Let's get back to the Miller one, where I just think it kind of is more feels like educated guessing at this point. I know he was in Ann Arbor and he was there for the pro day, where J.J. McCarthy is making the same plays that Zach Wilson's making and the same throws, and nobody's throwing caution to the wind. They're just saying, yeah, this guy has made his rise in the pre-draft process, and we're not gonna think twice about it. Now he's solidified himself as a top 5 pick. And the Arizona Cardinals could be the direct beneficiaries from that. But to see, it'd be kind of on the shoulders, piggybacking, what other reports have already been out there. I don't, none of what we just got from Matt, and I'm not trying to pile on. It's just not new information. Do you feel like that's new information? That it seemed like as soon as the Vikings acquired the 2nd first-round pick, it wasn't to, hey, we want to capitalize on this strong crop of prospects potentially or trade up. It's we got this extra 1st-round pick to get up the draft board, to get as high as possible, because as you've been saying, it makes no sense for them to trade up to 5 at any point before the draft.
No.
So, I mean, of course, the move has always been, try to get up to 4 with the Cardinals, because they're the team right now that is not poised to take a quarterback. And they never will be the team poised to take a quarterback. It's either Marv or trade down. Those are their options.
Yeah, and I think you also, when was it? 2 weeks ago, that Friday when the news broke, and you and I did a show remotely, and we talked about it. There was some assumptions, and we're doing process of elimination. I do think now there is more connecting the dots with pick 4 than I've seen before. Is that fair to say? I feel like pick 4 and the Cardinals' 1st-round pick has been thrown around more than it has. I think it's been thrown around more in the past 48 to 72 hours than I've seen, the 7+ days leading back to when the Vikings made the deal. Because again, 11 and 23, you can do a lot with that, and it does even out on the trade chart without the QB tax to come up to pick 4. But I don't think, people ran with, I saw Colin Cowherd do this, a couple other people. Austin Ford's comments from his press conference, I'm sure you saw that, basically said, yeah, the Cardinals, they want to trade down. Their GM's talking about it. It's because you and other people asked him about it, Bo, at the presser. But now it does feel like McCarthy's audition is over. Outside of maybe doing a top 30 visit, hell, that might have already happened. Now it just becomes, how do the Minnesota Vikings put a framework deal together for Austin Ford to definitively say yes or no to? I feel like that's where we're at right now. And where do the Giants factor in? Are the Giants going to make a play to come up from 6 to 4, or are the Giants just going to say, you know what, we're just going to be the benefactor of Malik Neighbors? Because at the end of the day, the Cardinals do not have to trade out. And the Minnesota Vikings know that. So you have to make it worth their while. And I'm on the flip side of a lot of people. I do believe if the Arizona Cardinals are going to trade with the Minnesota Vikings, it will happen pre-draft. Because if you're the Arizona Cardinals, what benefit does it give you to wait until you're on the clock to then try to do a trade with the Vikings? At that point, you're already ready to do a deal with Marvin Harrison Jr. and his people and say, yep, you're going to be our guy. Let's get everything taken care of. You make the phone call. You enjoy that intimate moment with his family. You've got now a negotiating window, as you mentioned, 30 days from today, the first round of the 2024 NFL draft. Like, the negotiation period starts today. Austin Ford said, owners meeting leading up to the draft. If I do feel confident, if it doesn't happen before the draft starts, up until that Wednesday, Thursday morning, like you got to feel pretty good about Marvin being a Cardinal at that point. You disagree with that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be comfortable until Goodell makes the announcement at the podium. I'm really not. I think that I would actually push back and just say you pit these two teams against each other, and you go to the buzzer. I mean, as far as who's going to present you with the best deal, because otherwise, I mean, you're going to potentially have somebody come over the top. I mean, you still have Vikings fans. Like, I put out the video as far as what we deemed kind of what it would cost, where it's the 3 firsts in a sweetener and a day 2 pick. And they're still not sold that that's what it's going to cost, because it absolutely is going to cost that much. And then you've got a team that's in a different situation that's just 2 picks behind you, where you don't take yourself out of getting a top tier prospect, like a top 10 guy.
Yeah.
You're not on the outside looking in like you would be with Minnesota, albeit with an extra first round pick. So no, I don't see really any true benefit, where I think that Monty Ossenford has shown that he has, the testicular fortitude to hang in there until the final bell goes, because he did it with the 3rd overall pick. And I wouldn't doubt that he does it again with the 4th overall pick, just to maximize what he could get in return.
Yeah,
and also the intrigue with the pick. Also, like, I think it took the New England Patriots, like the Cardinals last year, putting their pieces in place from their head coach, their front office, for them to know what direction they're going to go. Going through a little bit of the pre-draft process and realizing, like, hey, we need to get a quarterback, and we're out of the trade down scenario pretty firmly, and that's why the Cardinals have emerged recently.
It's funny that you hear the Commanders and Patriots making comments publicly like, yeah, we're probably going to take a quarterback unless somebody blows us away. And it's just like, listen, at the end of the day, like, if you were the Minnesota Vikings, I don't think there's enough picks in your arsenal to be able to get up to 2 and 3. And if you're the Vikings, or excuse me, if you're the Commanders and the Patriots, like, what kind of franchise are you trading down at this point? What message does it send to your fan base? I don't see that being an option. I will say, though, if you're rooting for Marvin Harrison Jr. at 4, like a lot of us are, Vikings come up 2 or 3, that suddenly puts everything back in perspective, where there's not necessarily a trade partner for you to dance with, unless the Giants wanted to come up. But I don't know. We're going to have to disagree on that. I do feel like the Cardinals have their window now if they want to get something done. If they don't get it done, then you lock in Marvin and you get ready for pick 27 and the rest of the draft. Let's get back to some of these super chats. Ben, the Cardinals fan, that Monty should get Sloan Vakey. He can play running back and safety, $1.99.
Oh yeah, the kid out of Utah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's a two-way player basically. Played some safety. He's a versatile defensive player. Saw him in Mobile, and he's probably a late 2, maybe early day 3 pick. But yeah, as versatile as they come. It's somebody that I think we can turn the page on the organizational ineptitude, to where if they get this uber versatile player, and like, it kind of sends shivers down our spine. It's not the case any longer. Like, I think Gannon, Monty, everybody has a vision for how they would utilize it and tap into that skill set, opposed to where they were with Cliff and VJ and Steve Keim. So yeah, I think somebody like him coming out of Utah that can really kind of do everything or anything is really intriguing, probably with as early as like your last 3rd or your 4th round pick.
Yeah. Thank you, Ben, for that super chat. Gann and I back in here, $4.99, unless the trade package is a 6'4" elite Pro Bowl potential player. Don't trade the pick. We have 11 picks, wide receivers, a position of need. Can't pass on Marvin Harrison Jr. I think we'd feel comfortable saying that, save for maybe edge rusher, receiver has had the least amount of significant attention this offseason, where they've shown to be serious about upgrading the position, right? They've signed a bunch of offensive linemen, a couple guys who you'd feel comfortable starting. They added to what was the worst position group on the team, defensive tackle group. And while we think there's going to be more, there's certainly nobody warranting the 4th overall pick at defensive line. So I'm with you. I think receiver is the biggest need on the team right now, and it's going to remain the biggest need until they address it and they hit on somebody. And to your point, Gannon, there's nobody that projects like Marvin Harrison Jr. in this class. Well, with all due respect to Rome Odunze and Malik Neighbors, like, this is just me talking. They're not in Marvin's class. They're in a level below, which is still a level of worthy of a top 5 pick, top 10 pick in any other draft. Somebody that is going to hit, hopefully make Pro Bowls for their respected team. I've seen some people nitpick Marvin, and I just feel like we've reached that point. Draft fatigue, prospect fatigue. He has been so good for so long. Like, I was watching Georgia, Alabama highlights from 2 years ago, the Peach Bowl with my son the other night. And he's unequivocally against a Georgia defense that had Nolan Smith and all of those projected top picks.
Ringo.
And he's destroying their team. And they literally had to cheap shot him out of the game to be able to win that game. I felt, first of all, anybody who watched that game, like, in hindsight, we all look like idiots. CJ Stroud was fantastic.
It was.
And unbelievable. And so watching that, and those two play together, Paris Johnson Jr. cooking edge rushers off the edge, that Ohio State team should have won the national championship. And they were robbed because Marvin Harrison Jr. was cheap shotted. He was the best player on the field. And people want to say, you know what? I'm not sure he's better than Malik Neighbors. And I like Malik Neighbors. Come on. What are we doing here?
Right. Yeah. It's, Ohio State is an NFL factory. Say what you want about their head coach and Ryan Day, born on third base, can't beat Michigan, but they get players in that, and they churn them out. They get them ready for the big leagues.
And then they hit too. That's important.
It's offensive, defensive, rookie of the year factory. That's what they are. That's what they've produced, from Nick Bosa to CJ Stroud to Paris Johnson Jr. coming in ready. You talk about that game and like that. You and I watched when we were watching that game at the time. What were we watching for? Jalen Carter on the other side of the ball, who was pretty quiet in that game. Jalen Carter. So it was.
Ohio State put up like 40-some point. They lost by 1 point on extra point. It was like 43-42. Paris was fantastic. And that Georgia team didn't lose a game for 2 years. And it's Stetson Bennett was elevated by all these other elite players. Marvin was the best player on either side of the ball. And again, he had CJ Stroud feeding the football. I think he picks up where he left off with old Kyler Murray if they're able to connect. We'll talk about Kyler and Marvin potentially connecting in Columbus. There was a funny Twitter rumor that people ran with that looks like it's been debunked. I want to throw this super chat at you. Charlie Sinclair boasts $1.99. This is true. The Bolts 100% trade down if Marvin isn't there. Do you agree with that?
Isn't it kind of what we were running on when we were some indecision as far as the first 3 picks? We knew Chicago was inevitable for Caleb, and then Washington was always in the quarterback business. We just weren't sure who, and it seems like it's Jaden Daniels. And then 3, like we thought the Patriots could be that wild card, and we couldn't dismiss it now that we can. But there was always discussion, like they were in the same boat. And if there's a player, I'm sure, with that Harbaugh views, and I think Harbaugh has a very similar standpoint as far as team building, like Monty Ossenfort, where he wants to build the trenches out. He'll make a kind of an exception to it's a Marvin Harrison Jr. type, because he's watched him firsthand. 6'4", just his ability to kind of win and kind of beat and get that separation from corners, and then also kind of win the one-on-one battles. Like there's nobody like this in the draft, and he knows that. And to couple him with Justin Herbert, that would be unreal.
What else is unreal? How about this first bet offer from our friends at BetMGM? I hope you're cooking with the NCAA tournament right now. $1,500 first bet offer. We're loving it both on the men's and women's side. You should too. I got some parlays this week. I like Illinois to win outright later this week. I like our folks and our friends at U of A to have a nice victory en route to entering the final eight, Elite Eight, the Final Four. A lot of good stuff going on, especially with our friends at BetMGM. $1,500 first bet offer. All you got to do, download the BetMGM Sportsbook app now on your Android or mobile device, and visit, of course, BetMGM.com. Sign up and deposit at least $10 into your BetMGM Sportsbook account. Place your first wager up to $1,500. You're going to get back in bonus bets if it loses. So if you do dabble in a parlay, if you're just picking a money line spread, whatever you want to do, say you're taking U of A outright to make it to the Elite Eight this week, and you're putting $1,500 on it, guess what? You're going to get $1,500 in bonus bets regardless if they win or lose. If it does lose, your bonus bets are going to be done when your initial wager is settled. Again, do it at least $10, up to $1,500 if the bonus bets lose. Check out the show notes for full details. Now listen to my guy Shane Diefenbach talk about it in the disclaimer.
Bets expire in 7 days. One new customer offer only. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus only. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Bonus bets are non-withdrawable. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. See BetMGM.com for terms. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, North Carolina, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
If you are in need of new flooring, carpet, hardwood, whatever it may be, your condo, your house, well, don't look any further than our friends over at Empire Today. Empire Today is going to make it less daunting. It's actually going to make it quick. It's going to make it easy. It's going to make it convenient in the speed, in the service, in which you're going to receive. It's unmatched. You're not going to find it anywhere around the valley. You got to check them out right now, EmpireToday.com/PHNX. And I'll tell you in a little bit why you want to use that PHNX / just because I'll tell you in just a bit. But first, tell you more about Empire Today. Is they've got their virtual floor designer. You can go log on EmpireToday.com, log in there, and you can start to look at what new flooring would look like exactly in your dwelling, what it would look like immediately without having to spend a dime. Their virtual floor designer, it's free, it's convenient. You can be confident that you're getting the best flooring for your needs. So check it out right now and then go to the website, EmpireToday.com. Use that /PHNX and the promo code PHNX, and you'll start to save $350 off your flooring needs with Empire Today. Do not miss out on this. They have price match guarantee as well. So you look elsewhere and you find a lower price, they're going to match it as well. EmpireToday.com/PHNX for your flooring and carpeting needs.
I love Cardinals Twitter because the investigative reporting that's going on right now with this team is elite. You and I several times were tagged in a tweet yesterday. Let's see if I can pull it up. I'm not going to pull it up on a graphic for the show, but basically it was from an account called Buckeye Empire. So I think the initial thing is no skin in this game. This is a Ohio State fan on Twitter, almost 10,000 followers, reporting, I think it was on Thursday night, that just ran into Kyler Murray, CJ Stroud, and Marvin Harrison Jr. That 4th overall draft pick looking pretty good. And then, of course, our guy Merv in response is saying proof or it didn't happen. And Buckeye Empire responded, I mean, I live in Columbus, don't lie. So then a lot of people started going to both Kyler and Marvin's Instagram. And then I think at one point, Kyler was following Marvin at one point. I have checked. That's not happening right now. And then additionally, the restaurant that this Buckeye Empire gentleman was alluding to, Marvin has been on record before. Somebody pulled video of Marvin talking about how much he likes this steakhouse. So again, did Kyler hang out with Marvin Harrison Jr. this past week? I don't know. I don't really think it matters. Here's what I will say. It's probably in the Cardinals' best interest for them to downplay this if he did. Like, they probably want this out of the news to keep their leverage up, to keep communication cut off with other teams. I'm all for Kyler and Marvin balling it up in private, and then once he's the pick, hopefully on April 25th, go nuts, put him in every publication with Kyler, let the bro fest commence. But right now, I think just everybody hang tight because Kyler Murray's private enough. He ain't giving you shit on this. You're not getting anything.
They're both very quiet.
Yeah,
guys. I mean, from what I've seen from Marvin Harrison Jr., even his dad was a bit tight-lipped during his career, and then what we know about Kyler, he's not somebody that wants to have the whole TMZ thing. But I saw that when we were tagged, and I was very skeptical. I'll remain to be skeptical. I'll look at it kind of side-eyed. I mean, would Kyler Murray do that? Would he travel to Columbus? Would he do it on it, his own behalf to go vet this wide receiver or start to kind of get ready for?
It's pretty wild I will give him immense credit if he did that.
It just it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I don't even know. There's no precedent for it. I mean, we got it.
Well, supposedly CJ Stroud was there too. Why were all three of them together?
Just bros, just dudes being bros, hanging out in Columbus, Ohio.
Well, was there basketball happening? Was there college basketball happening in Columbus? Was part of the tournament there? Somebody have to tell us in the chat. There'd have to be rationale for, because if you're Marvin and you're CJ, like wouldn't you have Marvin come to the West Coast, Southwest part of the country instead of going to the Midwest right now? I'm from the Midwest. I love it. I wouldn't want to go to the Midwest right now in March. Let's find other places to go. It was 75 in Phoenix yesterday, 80 degrees. Yeah. So we'll debunk that story. But again, that does not mean. Listen,
I'll burn a question on that.
Don't ask
on Tuesday. Come on. Hey, was Kyler? Hey, John. Was Kyler in Columbus hanging out with Marvin Harrison Jr.? And he'll tell me, get back on
ways for you to come here, Bo. Get out of here. I regret saying hi to you earlier today at the buffet line. All right, so we'll debunk that for now. Here's something else I want to debunk. Jeremy Fowler. Well, you break this down because you reported it from Jeremy, and then
I guess we'll call it reporting. I watched SportsCenter, and that's what Jeremy Fowler said. Basically said, Haason Reddick. As far as talks on extension, they are nowhere with Philly. And that he could be a trade candidate out of the Eagles organization, and then just said the Atlanta Falcons and the Arizona Cardinals could be in the mix. And then he explained why the Cardinals would be in the mix. And it's the same stuff that, the first time there was rumblings around Haason Reddick, you would kind of connect the dots with the Arizona Cardinals. But it doesn't seem like there's any legitimacy to the Arizona Cardinals being true contenders or players to bring back Haason Reddick to the team that drafted him here in the desert. It's just a very easy connecting the dots. They've done nothing as far as adding to the edge pass rush room. And Haason Reddick had a fantastic year under Jonathan Gannon. 17 and a half sacks, TFL machine, was decent in coverage. It was everything you would want. It was his war daddy on that defense that made its run to the Super Bowl and racked up 70 sacks.
I think if Haason Reddick is released, the Cardinals will aggressively pursue him. I don't think there's any other path for him to become an Arizona Cardinal. I have it on good authority that the Cardinals will not trade with Howie Roseman after what went down last year. They're not on speaking terms with that organization. How are they going to say, let's make a deal? The Cardinals and Austin Ford, after what Howie Roseman and company did, and I guess the rest of the national media just forgot about this. They do not want to help the Eagles to get better at all. And the Eagles are trying to move on with Vic Fangio, and they're trying to free up money, and they want capital. They added a pass rusher of note in free agency. They don't want Haason Reddick. They don't need him. And so their mindset is, thanks, don't let the door hit you on the way out. Let's get what we can for him. And the Cardinals don't want to come calling and say, Here's a third-round pick. Here's pick 105, whatever. It's unfortunate because it does match up perfectly for what, number one, the Cardinals need, the familiarity with Gannon. I'm told Reddick would be fine with coming back to Arizona. He just wants to be where he's wanted, where he's going to get paid. There's a huge, the Cardinals aren't going to deal with Philadelphia at all. They're not going to make draft day deals with them. They're not going to make trades with them. They probably won't ever deal with them again as long as Howie Roseman is there. What Howie Roseman did to this franchise and basically trying to embarrass the Cardinals because they took Jonathan Gannon from them and they took Nick Rallis and they bitched and complained to the league and made them switch picks. And it was embarrassing for the Cardinals to top the draft. And it thankfully didn't sully that experience for Austin Ford. And he was able to just have tunnel vision and crush it with Paris Johnson and manipulating and everything last year. But they are not trading for Haason Reddick. That was the information I was given. Now, if it ever happened, you guys can, put the clown makeup on me. I would love for them to do it. I would actively root for it. I hate coming on here and as Mr. Wet Blanket. I was told definitively they're not trading for Sweat when he was available. They restructured him. He's not available now. They're not trading for Haason Reddick. It's not. And I like Jeremy Fowler. You talk about Matt Miller just kind of reading the tea leaves and kind of guessing. Like Jeremy Fowler is literally saying Cardinals don't have a pass rusher. Reddick played there. He can go there. He played for Gannon. Actually, you know what? The Eagles cried wolf last offseason, and the Cardinals will never do a deal with them again.
Yeah, they went NFL Karen on everybody. they asked to talk to a manager after Gannon and Monty Ossenford gauged Gannon's interest. Oh, would you like to be a head coach? Yeah, I would like to go from defensive coordinator and achieve my dream job as a head coach in the NFL. Yeah, I'd like to do that. And then Howie Roseman said, "You can't do that. You can't do that within league rules," and went to the NFL.
Yeah.
And then as soon as that they agreed on compensation on draft day, swept it under the rug as much as they possibly could. But regardless, they came to an agreement, and Philly had to agree on the compensation as well for to not go any further. And then who was reportedly tampering as soon as they possibly could this offseason, NFL Karen and Howie Roseman. So, yeah, I don't think that Monty Ossenford, anybody in the organization want to go to their aid, help them out in any way possible, and unload a contract that, I'm sure they're looking to unload. I mean, as people are saying in the chat, they're exactly right. Haason Reddick's 29 years old, and, he's a guy that has been very productive, especially under the head coach here, and Jonathan Gannon when he was a DC with Philly. But he's also a guy like once you hit 30, that just seems to be one of those echelons in the NFL where even Steve Keim knew, like pass rushers production often falls off a cliff, and it's very risky. So, if you want to get Haason Reddick in, it would be on a rental, and it would be coming in at a pretty steep price, and a guy that traditionally you see numbers drop.
Jalen Blair pointing out, like, I get all that, but you can't let feelings get in the way of making the team better. That's a flaw in Monty if true. I think they're going to get better at the position. I think there's a chance, Jalen, that they draft somebody with a top 50 pick at the position, and then they sign a veteran right after the draft. Like, I think they feel like they'll have enough there. But I'm with you. Like, it's not good to have one, token sack in your last 6-7 weeks of the season. I think the presence of the defensive linemen they're going to bring in, the D tackles, are going to help Zaven Collins and B.J. Ojulari by default, right? Jones and Powell and these guys, they're going to be helped by these big men. And then if you get a Darius Robinson, if you get a Jerzon Johnny Newton, if you get a Chris Jenkins, like that's going to help. But I'm with you. I mean, again, I think that's the one position, looking at this 5,000-foot view, that we might be saying that's lingering until 2025 to find the blue chip elite of the elite, because everything else is probably going to be taken care of. Number one wideout, right? They have two capable tackles. They've already upgraded their interior. You feel really good about, Sean Murphy bunting. You got really capable inside backers now. I mean, like, they're not egregiously bad at any position, but they unproven at pass rusher. And that you just got to hope and pray that Jonathan Gannon can work his voodoo witchcraft and get some production out of that group.
And that might be a little too naive, right? And that might be the quarterback position from last offseason.
No argument for me. No argument.
This offseason. I mean, hopefully I'm proven wrong. And that, look, there's an expectation from the organization that guys are going to make a massive jump in their second season. And when you think about, who fits that profile, it's a Zaven Collins going most likely into his final year of his rookie deal, who made the position switch, and, Victor Dumukagi, and, obviously Dennis Gardeck, who was productive early on, but kind of was quiet down the stretch. But I just don't think it's a position, and I think you're right. There's going to be an investment in draft capital at that position, because otherwise there hasn't been. They have to find a way to upgrade the pass rush. They just have to, because it was so non-existent down the line and down the stretch. It's important that they do that, because if they do it, I think that you can make put that in the con list as far as this offseason.
I think there's going to be so many good players pushed to 27 or in strike conditions at 27.
Yeah, with the addition of Jonah Williams, it makes it a lot easier to do that for sure.
I like, to your point, the tackles and the receivers, the run on those positions, not only before 27, but before 35, the Cardinals are, I mean, they're going to be gifted elite front seven prospects that would otherwise probably be top 20, 25 prospects any other year. They're going to follow the Cardinals, and the Cardinals are going to be the benefactor of that. But the big caveat is you got to take Marvin first, because we've seen that board dry up. If you don't take him and you're slumming at 23 and 27, and it's like, who do I have to talk myself into? You guys are crushing it. Let's get some more likes up in here. Let's get to 300 by show's end, if not more. Let's get back, Bo, to these super chats. Art the Analyst, $1.99. How realistic do you see us landing Reddick? I'm going to be a huge wet blanket. I'll go 5%, Art, based on if the Eagles cut him, which I don't know why they would do that. Maybe there's some cap savings there. If the Eagles were to cut Haason Reddick, I think the Cardinals would be all over that. I'd call them the favorite to sign him. But to do a deal, to gift Philadelphia any kind of pick, prospect, or whatever, the Cardinals will not do that. So it's a low percent, unfortunately, Art.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It just seems like it doesn't match the profile of the players they're bringing in. I mean, if you look at who they've signed this offseason, and they've thrown 2 to 3 year deals. It's not guys that are 29 years old. They signed Chris Moore, a wide receiver, a special teamer who's 30, to a 1 year deal. But to go in and take on, that contract, I just don't know if that's something that they want to do. And you'd have to figure out, the cap ramifications. And I'm sure they've already punched the numbers on that. It just doesn't make sense.
Deuce, $2. What if we get Alt and Neighbors instead of MHJ? We were supposed to get MHJ and Alt, Deuce, when the Houston Texans were going to be trash this year. That was supposed to be the dream. That was the dream that we had envisioned for ourselves in this fan base. I would say through like mid-September, and then it became abundantly clear that the Houston Texans and CJ and company had other plans. So I think Marvin and a really good player at 27 or a minor trade up from there would do just fine. But I mean, that's a what if scenario. What if Bryce Young went to Houston? That would have done it for us, I think.
Mm-hmm. That would have been, man. You just wish you could go back and make that happen, right? Just remember CJ Stroud's pro day, and it was him and Josh McCown, who was the QB coach at Carolina, and Frank Reich, who was their head coach, if you forgot for a minute, in Carolina. And they were like, yeah, we'll see you in Charlotte. And everybody was like, oh my God, they're going to take CJ Stroud. And they just never did it. They got cold feet, and they took the guy, Bryce Young, out of Alabama. And now you see the reports that like Bryce Young has he would have no trade market even if they wanted to move off of him.
Oh my God. The Panthers are they on life support as a franchise? Like, they're where everybody thought the Cardinals were last year. Cardinals had picks, they had options, they had Kyler Murray coming back, who had proven himself. Panther times are tough, man. I got something fun to share, but before I do that, I'm going to share some more insight about our friends at Circle K. The Inner Circle right now is available for you to join for free by downloading both the Circle K app today. I was there this weekend. I loaded up on cheap gas, including if you're a new member of the Inner Circle, you save 25 cents per gallon on your first 5 fill-ups. And then I save 3 cents per gallon every single day as a member of the Inner Circle. It's indefinite. It goes forever as long as you're a member of the Inner Circle. And also, on top of that, I get free selections every 6 purchase on things like pizza, coffee, ice cold fountain drinks, and more. Love the Polar Pops, love the Ices. I love going into Circle K and getting free stuff, and they love giving it to me. All you got to do, join the Inner Circle for free, like myself, Bo Brack, Damon Dog, Michael Wilson. Hello. He was on our show talking about Circle K. Download the app today. Terms and conditions, they do apply at participating locations. If you need to find one near you, and you do, visit circlek.com/store-locator to find the nearest Circle K to you.
Our draft party, it's a great time to check out Gila River Resorts and Casinos. So is the month of March. Get over there. Maybe you go to a spring training game and head over to the casino, play some table games, play some slots, play some craps. Maybe you get up to the sports book, check out the games as far as your brackets are concerned. It's a little taste of Vegas right here in the Valley of the Sun. Achieve legendary status with our friends over at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. They offer an authentic, immersive experience. It's unprecedented level of entertainment and excitement that you're not going to find anywhere else, even in Vegas. You find it right here just down the street from where you live, respectively, in the Valley. They are state-of-the-art gaming floor, has over 800 slots, 15 blackjack tables, live table games, not to mention the largest casino sports book. Head over to Gila River Resorts and Casinos and let them show you what the next level is all about. Check out more online at playGila.com.
Gatorade Man, love this avatar. Gatorade Man, $4.99. What if the Vikings trade up to 5 and then outbid the Giants to move up to 4? Cards could get Marv at 5. Damn. I mean, like that's the kind of stuff that would put Monty Ossenford in, GM Ring of Honor status before one winning season. I mean, that'd be unbelievable. I think those are the kind of scenarios in which, like, we're playing with house money. If you land Marvin Harrison Jr., anything beyond that, you're just feeling really good about the situation at hand. You don't want to get too greedy, but I hadn't really thought about that. That's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it still puts, Quessy, their GM in Minnesota, in a very uncomfortable spot until, he can pull off the move, right? I mean, if he's, slowly moving up the draft board, he's got to be confident he's going to get a deal done. And that's where, if he gets up to 5 and then the Giants are willing to, throw in the kitchen sink and get the Godfather deal done and get over the hurdle, the Vikings. I mean, that's a disaster. That's a disaster, because then what do you do at 5 with all 4 quarterbacks really off the board, as we saw, in that tweet. Forgive me for not remembering who it's from. It wasn't from Matt Miller, but it's from another reporter basically saying, like, Penix was moving up the board. It's like, my God, you're not using the 5th overall pick on Michael Penix Jr.
Yeah. I still think Penix and Bo Nix are going to go round 1. I think we're going to have 6 QBs in the first. Have you looked at the early teens? I don't look at it often because it's gross and these teams have no options, but it's QB wasteland 101. So you go back, work your way backwards. The Seahawks are at 16. Mm-hmm. The Broncos are at 12. The Vikings are at 11. The Raiders are at 13. The Jets are lingering around there with one more year. Aaron Rodgers. The Saints are in there. I mean, you're slumming in the early teens of this draft, and times are tough, man. And you can find out where I had all these players on my upcoming mock draft 2.0. How about this? One night sleep away. It's going to be live for free at gophnx.com. I've made a slight alteration. The folks said it couldn't be done. We're going 3 rounds, baby, in the mock draft 2.0. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to say which picks it were. The Arizona Cardinals make 2 trades in my mock draft 2.0. It is for free at gophnx.com. It is live in the morning, as early as 7 a.m. Mountain Time. You can check it out. Grab a cup of coffee, get your newspaper, and we'll put it down and check out our mock draft at gophnx.com. Not what I hope happens, but what we hear. We're trying to be as deadly accurate as we can be. We're not coming up with our own rankings. We're not putting Jaden Daniels in the 20s. No. This is trying to be as accurate as possible. It's my second mock draft. You guys helped make the mock draft 1.0 one of the most successful things I've ever done at gophnx.com. Let's run it back. Get your insight on a 3-round mock draft in its entirety. And the Arizona Cardinals make 2 trades, Bo Brock.
You're a madman. So you're going to just finish touches on that as soon as you finish this show?
Yeah, I got a little coffee. And then, we're gonna work into the wee hours here. Because that's what we do. We do podcasts on Sunday night. Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to bed as soon as this thing.
Well, you're doing a red eye tomorrow, so I felt like I had to somewhat match your energy. I have to it's not giving you the baton because you're next level, but I feel like, okay, I can dick around with a mock draft until late tonight, and then you can do a red eye.
Look at that. Yeah, of course. Look at the man of the people. He's asking. Leave a like for the hard. The blood, sweat, and tears. Leaving it all on the floor tonight. Unbelievable. How many? Like, can you full disclosure? How far are you into building this mock draft?
Oh, I'm 90% done. I worked out. We rained today, so while my daughter was napping, I was working through it. I really like where the Cardinals are at, and there's 2 trades. Ray's asking, do you have to be a diehard? No, you don't have to be a diehard to read it. what you can do is you can read it and then you can become a diehard. That'd be good. At gophnx.com. But no, the Cardinals, again, it's like I alluded to it. It's like, no shit, Johnny. They're going to have so many options at 27. Like, I'm doing this mock, and I'm like, okay, he has to go here, and he has to go here, and this player is going to be available. And it's just, I think there are so many scenarios I love for the Cardinals at 27. I'm going to tell you the one that I would be disappointed with is if they took a corner at 27. That's the one position group I don't love. And, if Quinyon Mitchell's hanging around or whatever, but the premium line of scrimmage, front seven talent, they'll be in good shape. Interior offensive line, D ends, D tackles, right? There's that next tier of guys. So yeah, but it all starts though. You gotta get Marvin at 4, and I'll let you know if we're taking Marvin in my mock draft. But you gotta read it first.
Yeah, step in. Is the bald cap included? Would you pop it on while you're in the lab working on your mock draft? Do you put on the
I sweat enough doing these mock drafts when I'm working, and then if I put that on, Bo can attest this, it's like pure latex. It is not, there's no breathability to it.
Yeah. Arizona Animal asking if I'm heading to Florida. Yes, I'm heading to Florida tomorrow. I'll be at the airport 24 hours from right now. I can check in for my flight in about an hour. You can take the red eye, talk to Gannon on Tuesday morning. Vanessa Russell, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. This is an awesome surprise. Thank you for joining us tonight. We really appreciate we were blown away by having 400 plus people watching us in an impromptu Sunday night edition. Jessica asking, Jobo, did y'all figure out your draft party outfits? We got to lock those in. We better lock in. And don't forget, Damon Dog is also going to be dressing with us as well. The whole crew is going to be dressed to the nines, I believe.
I would say at minimum, like I would like to get a red sport coat or a red blazer to match not only the Cardinals, but Ohio State. And I would like a white undershirt, like a white button up with a bow tie, I think is going to be the play for your boy.
Okay.
You guys think you want to go in on that with me? What do you think?
Yeah, I thought we were going to do some sort of coordination with tuxes and looking nice. But if you want to look like somebody from the band Wham, sure, you can.
I do love 80s music.
Like an 80s pop musician, you can certainly do that.
We got
have those sleeves rolled up too, like you're from Miami Vice.
Yes, that's me to a T. Absolutely, Jessica. See, we're not even close to it. We don't have enough time.
Get on it.
I know we got to get on. Like Austin Ford's got to get on it. Decide what he wants to do. Danny Redbird's $4.99 super chat. I got to say, you guys seem pretty calm, cool, and collected about this pick. I'm aging faster than I should as we get closer. Cardiac cards, PTSD. I think, Danny, I felt good until the Vikings made the trade up or for 23. And now I don't feel good, if that makes sense. So if we seem calm, we're just putting on a facade.
Yeah.
I got a text back in like January saying, don't discount a trade down. And I discounted it because I'm an idiot. And I'm like, well, Marv trumps everything. And then the Vikings did their shenanigans. And it's just like, I don't want to pull up Twitter one day to a rap sheet or a Schefter trade down announcement. That would suck.
Man, that would be heartbreaking. It would be, but it would also be hard. It's the way I view it. It's like heartbreaking in the sense like, oh man, got a lot of hard work to put into it, but we've got the tools necessary to get there. Right. It's about maybe finding, like, I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is kind of the quick fix, kind of like view it as a quick fix, right? Like he brings the excitement, and you're willing to watch along with that. And sure, it might be a little bit harder to compete in this tough gauntlet of a division without, the tools of a defensive line or a defensive secondary that you can't supplement right away with first round draft capital that you would utilize on a wide receiver. But like if you did get the capital and it's just like, okay, you've got a great exercise regimen, you're eating clean, you're going to get yourself in good shape and you're on your way. Right. And I think that's where you're just like, okay, there's going to be a lot of hard work, but Monty Ossenfort's going to have the tools in order to do so.
No, I want my In-N-Out cheeseburger.
Right.
I want to gorge myself. Thank you. All right. Who's not gorging himself? Jonathan Gannon, who looks absolutely shredded in the coach's photo. We're going to get to that here in a second. But first, I got to tell you guys about our friends at Desert Financial Credit Union. It's the official credit union, PHNX Sports, the Arizona Cardinals, and the Venerable household. Desert Financial, who's been serving the Valley, Arizona, for more than 84 years. It's the most trusted local credit union you can find. They got a ton of locations in the East Valley. That's why I went with them. And then on top of that, I'm learning more. They not only have checking accounts, they've got savings accounts, mortgages, loans, credit cards, investment options, and more. Perfect place to buy in early and now and to get your money when you need it. Plus, if you're an Arizona sports fan, no better place than to do it with Desert Financial. It's the only place you can show your team spirit every single time you make a purchase by rocking, get this, the Arizona Cardinal Visa debit card. I love it. I have it. It's all black, plus the red bird, and it gets a lot of looks, a lot of compliments, and you can open a free checking account online, Bo, and get an Arizona Cardinal Visa debit card at no charge. Just go to desertfinancial.com/Cardinals to get started. It takes a matter of minutes to sign up. Debit cards in the mail a couple days after the fact. I promise you, you will not regret it. I had a credit union lingering around with me from my days in the Midwest. I finally made the plunge to Desert Financial. One of the best financial decisions I've made. Let them help you like they helped the Venerable household. Check them out, desertfinancial.com.
And Gil Sunset, Johnny definitely skips leg day. Yeah, guilty as well. And
Cardio's leg work.
One thing he doesn't skip is getting those fingers, those scratching fingers. He's hitting those scratchers all the time. He's getting a good workout with the Arizona Lottery and their scratch off tickets. Always in good standing. Their Arizona Lottery, they've got a new promotion that you have to check out. And there's 3 different ways that you can win big. Like the traditional, just get yourself your lucky coin, scratch off, and you can win up to $50,000 on tickets that actually have 3 iconic landscapes: Picacho Peak, Monument Valley, and Camelback Mountain. These tickets, as I said, you can win up to $50K, or you can check in on these geolocated adventures, 10 destinations across the state from Flagstaff to my beloved Yuma. Check out azadventure.com for details and directions. Check in destination coordinates on the website, and those tickets online, you can enter them and you can win up to $1 million cash or Arizona travel prizes. Check out Arizona Lottery. It's not just about playing games and winning prizes. It's about giving back to the state and its communities. Visit azadventure.com for more info and how you can take an adventure for a chance to win $1 million and Arizona travel prizes.
I like this comment here. Deuce, $2 super chat. If we get MHJ, JV, Johnny V will be on him like a cheap suit. You damn right I will be. I was on the record just from a support, last training camp. I was on the record. I'm like, I saw Paris Johnson Jr. I saw the greatness on display. I saw how few players the Cardinals had that looked like Paris. And I said, I think I would just like to be picked up by Paris and have him just like walk me around, just like carry me around. I have no problem saying that. Here's what I want, Deuce. I want elite physical specimens, the best in the world, playing for my favorite franchise. And if there's something wrong with that, I don't want to be right.
Yeah. I mean, I do agree with you. And if you look at kind of the players that they brought in, I was thinking about this today. Like they signed Jonah Williams, they signed Mac Wilson, both Alabama, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sean Murphy Bunting was on a Super Bowl team. You've got guys, they're not just like throwing darts at a board. And
any UMass players in
there?
Yeah,
this guy ruled the MEAC. This guy was a beast in this, non-Power 5 conference. It's like, no, like they're going to take the blue chippers and then they're going to rely on their coaching staff that they have an unbelievable amount of trust in to take these unbelievable physical tools in size and athleticism and harness them into their game plan.
Can I get on my soapbox real quick? I told you we watched the Georgia Ohio State game.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
And then we watched 2 other games, like the recaps of like 20 minutes. We watched Clemson LSU, and I didn't see Isaiah Simmons make one play that game. And I was trying to be transparent. It was Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Justin Jefferson. And guess who were the best players in that game? So we watched that game. No, Isaiah Simmons doing anything. And then, for good measure, we watched Oklahoma-Alabama semifinal when Kyler and CeeDee Lamb balled out. So a couple things stood out in that game. CeeDee Lamb abused Patrick Surtain, and nobody thought to draft him. Hollywood Brown was hurt that game because no shit he was. And Alabama was flipping loaded, and Kyler Murray picked them apart by himself with players that look like me playing for Oklahoma's defense. Sometimes it's just not that hard. Sometimes you just be like, you know what? That guy can ball. He's pretty awesome. Like CeeDee Lamb was 18 years old cooking Patrick Surtain, and Cardinals are like, you know what? I don't think so. Okay, off the soapbox. I won't subject myself to that anymore.
Ray saying SWAC first teamers are on the way. Are the way to go. Those days are over, and it's a good thing, Ray. Oh man, unbelievable. Wild Wave saying, I have a feeling Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft might happen. Here's the thing. His mock draft, I don't hate it. I don't hate his mock draft where he has the Arizona Cardinals getting Brian Thomas Jr. from LSU with the 23rd overall pick. They get like Jared Verse 11th overall, and then they get Byron Murphy. Like they get some beef. They get a defensive lineman. They get an edge rusher. They get a playmaking wide receiver. But the draft or the trade package stakes. It wasn't nearly enough. So that can't happen.
Here's what did happen. Coaches meeting, coaches photo. It was on display on Twitter today. It was glorious because, first of all, here it is. See if you can pick out our fearless leader in Arizona. It doesn't take too long. Busting out of his collared shirt there, Mr. Jonathan Gannon, looking all kinds of swole, ready. I think J.J. might play outside linebacker for the Cardinals this year by the looks of this, Bo.
Yeah, he's you talk about not missing arm day. He's in the arm barn with James Conner, and it was used to be J.J. Watt, and J.J.'s just picked up the slack. And then you've got poor Brian Dable just behind him, not looking like a specimen at all. He's a bit of a unit. Him and Dan Quinn, the pride of the NFC East now, and then Doug Peterson. So J.J., outside of Robert Saul looming though diagonally from him, also just a beast of a man. But this photo did not fall short of just hitting each and every year that they posted. Andy Reid once again with his Hawaiian shirt.
Can we get that one more time, Damon?
Yeah.
First of all, don't sweat this. Doug Peterson, J.J. talking about their hate for Philadelphia on the far right hand side, and same thing with Dable, Dan Quinn. All those people.
Is Sirianni not even in this picture?
He's with Big Dom off screen.
Yeah, did he not get the clearance? The Big Dom, did he not check out the and get to scope the whole area? Maybe
I guess not.
Dom, I heard they didn't let Big Dom in the picture, so Sirianni said, "I'm out. I'm not going to do it."
I think Big Dom, he couldn't find the scuba equipment because he was just going to scope out from the fountain back there.
That fountain.
And then Sean McDermott just looks like he's already starting. He's the only guy that's got a blazer on. He knows he's going to be interviewing for a job if he can't get the Bills to bust through the glass ceiling next year.
How about Harbs in the middle playing mind games with Andy Reid, saying, "I'm gonna run the ball with Blake Corum up your ass 40 times a game." I love that Jim just comes back and immediately he's just like, "I'm in the middle. I'm at the center of this photo in my baby blue collared shirt." I love Jim Harbaugh so much. Yeah, that's a great picture. It didn't. I'm so glad that came out today.
People were somebody had hit me up on Twitter. They were like, "JG's not wearing his socks." I don't think I've ever seen him wear socks. He's no sock guy. Or if he's wearing socks, they are no show socks.
You think he wears tennis shoes that are like formed to his feet, and he doesn't wear socks with those?
What are you talking about? Formed to feet, like the
ones shoes? Yeah, those shoes that there are shoes that athletes wear.
No, he wears he wears like Nikes or whatever. But
so he has socks with those. You're saying?
Yeah, but he's wearing like loafers or whatever. He's not wearing socks. Well, he just never does. Like when he had his introductory press conference and he's wearing a suit, he was not wearing socks.
Well, what kind of shoes did he have on?
He had like loafers.
Okay, so you're basically you're saying when he dresses like professionally, like dress clothes, that he doesn't wear socks. But when he's in his coaching gear, he wears socks.
If he does, he wears like the no-show socks.
Well, that's what I do. Do you wear like socks that you push down and bulk up over your tennis shoes?
What?
They're called footsies. My mom used to call them. These are your footsies.
I get it. Like I think that's his fashion. Like he's not.
Yeah, me too.
He doesn't want to show. Yeah, well,
I'm like Gannon. We're the same person. Our draft party. If you're not familiar, Gila River Resorts and Casinos. If you like this kind of hijinks, tomfoolery, and you want to party with us, do it with our friends. As I double click on the picture and piss off Damon. Gila River Resorts and Casinos.
Damon's up late. He's working his ass off, and Keep clicking buttons.
April 25th, 4 p.m., Gila River Resorts and Casinos. It's the draft party, the end all draft party. 4 p.m. is the kickoff time. Free drinks, free food, free vibes, immaculate giveaways, swag, PHNX Cardinals personalities, myself, Damon, Bo, Britton Golden, Saul Bookman. I was told large majority of PHNX Sports faithful will be there to party and hang with you as we celebrate what will be unequivocally the most impactful draft of the last 10 years for the Arizona Cardinals. Bo and I and Britton will be live for the duration of round 1. We'll be hanging afterwards, and then subsequently live for rounds 2 and 3 the next day in studio, and then likely a post-game show on day 3, if not maybe a little bit live during some of the latter rounds. But again, this is your premier Arizona Cardinal draft coverage, and it all starts partying together. You don't have to be a diehard to attend the draft party, but it is highly encouraged. Wear your free merch and come ready to have some fun with Bo, Damon, and I. We cannot wait to see you all at Gila River Resorts and Casinos.
Victor, any tickets left? Absolutely. Check them out. Go phnx.com. Just go to the events page, or you could just find it on, I think I had a recent tweet from Friday that had a link into it as well, PHNX_Cardinals. We should have a tweet with the link on it. But easiest thing, go phnx.com/events, and you can get your tickets. There are some TJ96. It is not free to attend because with a ticket, you get food and you get beverages with it, and you also get an opportunity to win some free swag. So had to charge a little bit for it, but it's not too much. It's not going to break the bank. And I did hear that we had an unbelievable, generous, I think we're going to get some tickets to give away as well. Was it David Lee jumping in? And
yes,
this isn't official. I might be jumping the gun here, but wants to give away some tickets on his behalf. Was so generous to donate them to the draft party. So those will be coming up between now and draft day. But I would lock them in if you can. Don't
I would do it
winning those.
Yeah, do it now, and then if we got some freebies to hand out for some additional family and friends, we're going to do that. But you guys need to like this video. Subscribe to PHNX Sports here on YouTube. We're having a blast en route to what is the 2024 NFL Draft. The man to my right headed to Florida on Monday night. But before then, hey, we get to do a Monday show. Back tomorrow on a Football Monday, 4:30 p.m., and of course, in the morning, check out my mock draft 2.0, 3 rounds in all its glory at gophnx.com. So much content with this franchise. How about Marv? How about Joe Alt? Where's Joe Alt going in Johnny's mock? Have to check us out on the website to find out. But Bo, thank you for making some time tonight. We appreciate you, my friend.
Likewise to everybody out there, all 400, nearly 20 plus out there. Hit a like on this button for yourselves, your attendance tonight, everybody's participation in the chat. It's been unreal. It's great to catch up and kind of do these impromptu Sunday shows. It's out of the routine, and it's fun to just talk some ball, talk some Cardinals football. When it's not, the normal 4:30 time slot. The chat always continues in the exclusive member Discord. It's on fire right now. Only way you access that is to become a member, a diehard member, like our friend Nick did earlier today, like our guy Tom recently. Jessica, she's a diehard as well. So many of you are in the diehard chat. Dee everybody's firing up, talking. Little Reezy. It's a great place. It's just this. We're honored to be a part of this community. It's unreal. Never miss any of your favorite PHNX shows where you find podcasts. Like and subscribe to PHNX Sports. Johnny, anything else before we get here? Am I going to be able to look at your mock draft before anybody else or no?
No.
Okay. I'll wait.
I don't even give Bo special rental treatment. Never.
All right, guys. Have a great rest of your night. For award-winning producer Damon Dog, Johnny Venerable, and myself, Bo Brack. Have a great rest of your Sunday night. We'll talk to you on Monday.
We all silly like the mayor.